Hey, it's Paris. Wanted to throw in one quick reminder. This Tuesday, September 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific, I am doing a live stream on my YouTube channel for the NVIDIA Ultimate Countdown reveal. This is going to be revealed for their next generation graphic cards, and they're going to talk about all the hardware, the software, everything that's going to power the next generation of PC gaming. This is a sponsored event by NVIDIA. Please come check it out on my YouTube channel. Just search on YouTube, my name, Paris, P-A-R-R-I-S, 9 a.m. on September 1st. We're going to watch the Ultimate Countdown from NVIDIA. So thank you, NVIDIA, for sponsoring this stream on September 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Hi, welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1065. This is your host, Danny, and joining me this week, we have the whole Gamertag Radio crew. Let's start with Paris, man. What's going on, Paris?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. We're having some internet issues here, man. What's up with this, man? I think it's multiple applications that are having issues today.
Yep. So on my end, I'm pretty much down to get into like all the social media, Twitch, all that stuff. But hey, we're here. Pete's running the show.
We're here. Hey, exactly. Also, we have Pete in the house. What's on, Pete?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Just wondering what's up over there, man.
No, we're the weather. It's summer's over. Apparently, it's officially the fall because the weather dropped over the last 2 days. So sitting here, I'm in a hoodie. Who would have thought? End of August, I'm wearing a hoodie. I guess it's the end of summer. So yeah, and I'm enjoying the weather here, dude. You know me, I like the cold, so I'm appreciating it.
Yeah. The weather's over here is beautiful too in New York. It's like 66, 67.
Yeah, it's
the past few days now.
It's like
not bad.
55 degrees right now here in Switzerland, so loving it.
Nice. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. You could also find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Easy. Search, follow us, subscribe, and also share our content to your friends, family members. Just spread the word about GTR. Also, if you'd like to be part of our fan mail episode or segment, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so remember, just send us a voicemail. If you can, please send it less than a minute long, because we've been getting a lot of 3 minutes and we can't play the whole thing, so I have to like start editing some parts out, So, but yeah, I want to appreciate everybody. Just want to say thank you for sending us questions and feedback about the show. I love reading that or hearing those voicemails. So keep it up. Make sure to mention where you're from. Very, very important. All right. So first of all, Paris, I just watched the latest episode of S-Cast. That was a pretty good episode, man. Lots of talk about Halo Infinite, which we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. But it was a great conversation overall, man.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to Alana Pierce and Snowbike. I can't even say Mike's the whole thing, but Mike over at XCast, excuse me, for inviting me over and filling in the third seat as Gary couldn't be on. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the Halo discussion we had was pretty relevant, pretty in depth. And it was just honest. I mean, it was a real snapshot at the current state of Halo overall, not just the IP of Infinite, but just Halo from like my son not necessarily being into Halo and looking at me as, oh, that's an old person's game. That's not my game. That's not a game that kids today play. And that being a real issue for Xbox and to figure out how are they going to pull in the younger generation and get them excited about Halo again? And then obviously, everything that goes with the delay, the fact that Joe Staten is now coming in as a project lead for the campaign. Certain Affinity is coming in to help with the multiplayer. So it's pretty clear the delay wasn't just COVID. There's some type of leadership issue going on over there that needs to be fixed so that they can deliver the game that they've been working on the past 5 years. So that's what the crux of our discussion was during that podcast. We talked about Fall Guys too, the fact that it's not on Xbox right now. It's, potentially when is it going to come to Xbox? And like I said, it was overall, it was a great conversation. I had a lot of fun being on there, and the time just flew by. So thank you to everyone over at Kinda Funny for inviting me over. And it was a good time. And Phil Spencer, I was the first choice, not you. Never forget that.
That's big. That's pretty big. Yeah. No, but we should definitely talk about that. The changes is okay from the outside. This is coming from somebody that, fan of Halo. It seems like they made these changes not to make a whole type of correction to fix Halo. It sounded more of like a PR move. Like, hey, let's start getting some veterans over here so it could start getting some good buzz from the Halo community. That's how I see it. Do you guys feel the same about that too, or no?
I think it's both. I think it's both, because if they just needed some assistance to get the game out the door, you don't even announce that Joe Staten is there. Why would you even announce that? Why would you make a big deal out of it? They wanted that name recognition that, hey, here is a Bungie veteran who has delivered, all the classic Halos that you love and adore, is now coming in to help us deliver Halo Infinite. Absolutely, this was a PR issue. Look, let's just keep it, 100. The reveal was a failure in the sense that it didn't spark interest in Halo Infinite. Instead, it sparked interest in Craig memes. That's what it did, right? Not to mention, clearly they realized they could not deliver this game in time for launch, so you had to delay it. So the Halo's not back. We're not excited about Halo. We're concerned about Halo. So you have to bring in a big name to kind of ease the community's minds that, okay, Joe's going to come in and save the day. You know what I equate this to? And you may not even remember this. Rod Ferguson came in to deliver BioShock Infinite. Do you remember that? He left Gears and went over to help Ken Levine deliver BioShock Infinite. That's how I see this. Matter of fact, Rod Ferguson's done this a couple times because he came in to deliver Gears as well, if you remember.
True.
So he came in to deliver the original Gears. He then left, helped Ken Levine deliver BioShock Infinite. So that's how I kind of see what Joe Staten's role is here, where he's a name that people can trust, people are excited about. And obviously we'll see when the game comes out. And I'll say this one last thing, and Pete, I really want to hear what you got to say. This is holiday 2021 at the earliest. I do not think those 2022 rumors came out of nowhere. I think there is some smoke to that. Do not be surprised if this is an extended delay.
I'm right with you. Actually, first of all, I want to say congrats on the XCast thing. That was a fantastic show. You guys, you knocked it out of the park. But going back to the Joe Staten thing, I mean, first and foremost, we have the original voice of the grunts from Halo, right? So yes, he was there he's the day one, right? He was there when it was in its glory, when it was the IP killer.
It's his story. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but literally Joe Staten wrote the Halo story. This is his story that we're seeing. Yeah. And
then you have, it was the title that everybody fought to take down. It was the juggernaut of video games. You had Sony trying to establish Killzone as they came up with the term Halo Killer. Why? Because that was the title to take down, and they couldn't until obviously Bungie left. And now, with everything that's gone on, whether you want to blame the low graphics or you want to blame the Craig memes, or is it destiny? Is it because everybody left to create Bungie or whatever, or is it maybe just outdated? And I said this last week, and I don't know if maybe I just said it wrong, but maybe it just came out it just came across incorrectly. But maybe Halo isn't what it used to be. Maybe that game isn't good for gaming anymore. Maybe it's just outlived its lifetime, and it's difficult to say, because I think as gamers, and fine, you can call us boomer gamers or whatever you want to, whatever you want to title us, but that title is such a core part of what we were, as gamers. It established our identity online, whether it was playing Big Team Battle, or we were doing Forge, or we were just doing the single players, or doing co-op campaigns. It literally developed us as people in gaming. So it's difficult to see that a title like that has undergone all of the problems that it has over the last, let's call it a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. Over the last 5 years, it's taken them 5 years to do this, and it's still not ready. We've seen developers like CDPR who have taken 7 years to develop Cyberpunk 2077. Is it going to take? Will it take 7 years to make Halo Infinite on par to what CDPR has done for Cyberpunk? Is Halo Infinite even ready? Will it even be ready next year? Do you think 1 year is enough? Because if all this is just that they needed to tweak a few things, then why all of these higher up level changes, starting with Joe Staten and potentially the loss of Bonnie Ross, et cetera, because I think she might end up being the scapegoat, because they just need to pin the blame on somebody. Why all of the why do you have to delay a title that's taken 5 years when you have a studio as amazing as this? 343 is it? That's the question.
Is it? Because here's the other.
Maybe it's just living on its laurels. Maybe it's living on its past.
But it can't live on its past, because what is its past? Because I brought this up on the show as well. Do you realize they've had that IP almost as long as Bungie did?
Yeah.
And look at the difference. So, and look, we know people at 343. So this isn't, we're trying to troll 343 or whatever. Because
no, at all.
We know they're trying to deliver the best game they possibly can. And I am not blaming the people that are actually working on the game specifically, as far as development, coding, things like that. I point this at leadership, because at some point it has to be leadership. Leadership has to be responsible for this. And I'll say this too, because someone in the chat said this. Well, I think it's coming in March. If it's coming in March, why are they bringing in new leadership to steer the ship? Mm-hmm. That tells me there is a problem inside that studio that needs leadership to come in and actually right the ship to deliver the product. If it was only, a few months, we just got to finish a few things because of COVID, this, that, and the other, we want to make sure that ray tracing is in there. You don't bring Joe Staten in. You don't bring in Certain Affinity to help with the multiplayer. That tells me there is a problem with Halo Infinite. They need to bring in someone that can actually get everyone back on track to deliver what they've been working on the past 5 years. Because like you said, Pete, if you've been working on this game for 5 years, you don't delay and then bring in senior leadership at the end.
You bring in a project manager.
right. So no, this isn't just, we got to tighten up a couple things and we make this big announcement about this particular ex-Bungie person coming in. There's a problem. Like I said,
not with all the fanfare that they're making.
Exactly.
Yes, he's huge, but you don't make it a PR event to bring in someone like this.
Yeah.
So
here's the problem with that, though. I'm a little bit worried that the game was about to come out in November. They delayed the game, and now they're bringing him in. How much of the changes are we gonna get to see just because he is involved in a year? Let's say if it comes out in November or whatever of next year, what changes that they can make? Just look better graphically. That's it, because story's not going to change.
I was just about to say, ask yourself this question. They were willing to launch this game, what, 2 months? In 2 months, this game was supposed to come out, right? That means the campaign, the story, everything is done. It has been done. They were in bug squashing mode. So you don't bring in Joe Staten just to squash some bugs. You're bringing them in because they're overhauling something. They are changing something significant with this game. And because specifically he's coming in with the campaign. So that tells me something significant is changing. And that's why I'm saying this game ain't coming out in March, because that's simply not enough time. I mean, let's again be realistic about this. Everyone's still working from home. We're a couple months away from the holiday, when people typically start taking time off. So that takes time away as well. All right, everybody reconvenes middle of January. The game would then have to be done a month later, because now it has to go gold. You got to certify it, and then you got to ship it out. All that stuff. This is not a spring 2021 game. It's not. There's simply not enough time to do that, especially when you're bringing in new leadership who has to get acclimated to the environment. They have to get to know the team. They have to put project plans in place. No, I don't see it. And if I'm wrong, please hit me up on Twitter and do the MS Paint clown emojis and tell me I'm wrong. But I don't think I am.
It's funny. This will be the second time we've actually referred to the chat here, but somebody just said we've got a Snyder Cut situation going on. and as scary as it is, that's exactly what that is. That's exactly what that is.
No, I was going to mention this. You know when I realized that Halo definitely needed a change? It all started 2007 when Modern Warfare was coming out, and everyone was just talking about that game. Halo 3 came out September of that year, right? And ever since that game, Bungie at that time was trying to add new things in the game just so it could be more like current, like other first-person shooters around that time too. And ever since then, I feel like the game lost track slowly. Do you guys feel the same?
I don't.
Or is just
I don't.
Because I feel like that was...
I don't.
No? Because I think that was the year... Because look, let's be real. Halo 3, when it came out for the 360, that thing was graphically, it felt like it was the same. It wasn't really nothing major compared to like Modern Warfare. I think Halo Reach was the first game that I felt like, oh man, this looks good. It looks graphically looks different. But that's when you got to see the new type of combat features in there. It was for then from Halo Reach and on. And ever since then, I felt like it lost track slowly. But that's maybe
I disagree, because remember, Halo 3 came out before Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So the bubble shield, the equipment, these were things that Bungie was doing in a bubble, in a vacuum, to where they weren't reacting to something. At that point, Halo was still the number one first-person shooter on console, right? Yes, Modern Warfare came out that same year, and that changed things. When I look at ODST and I look at Reach, I don't look at those games as a reaction to what Call of Duty was doing, right? The first time, in my opinion, we actually started to see them changing Halo as a reaction to the way that the modern shooter was going was Halo 4. And that was 343. That was Bungie. So again, and I mentioned this on XCast because Alana was talking about this. We won't know until the final game's out. This is just speculation. But what if this open world play for Halo Infinite wasn't the right play? What if they should have stuck to, because remember now, as much as we bag on Halo 5, from a technical standpoint, it is fan-effing-tastic. It is a visual showcase. There was nothing wrong visually with Halo Infinite. It was the story. It was the direction they were taking the story and everything that lost everyone. So maybe you keep the technical aspect of Halo 5 and you just fix the damn story. Maybe that's all it needed. I don't know. But clearly they've made their decision to turn Halo into a platform, to go kind of quasi open world with it and to iterate on it, over the years as a platform. So We'll see. I will just simply say, and I've been saying this on this show for a while, they can't screw this up. They simply can't. And I think they know they can't, which is why this went above, in my opinion, I know nothing. This went above Bonnie Ross as far as making a decision. I'm sure she obviously had a play in it. I'm sure maybe she's the one that suggested, hey, we need to delay this. We need more time, which would be good on her. But I'm telling you, this went all the way up to Satya Nadella, if you ask me. If you ask me, for the final call on, yep, we're delaying it, because it is crystal clear the launch of the Series X, everything was built around this game. For the launch of the Series X, this was the game that was going to be on all the posters, all the advertisements to say, this is the next generation of Xbox, and Spartan 117 is leading the way. And now they can't do that. So this was not an easy decision to delay it. They clearly were trying to do whatever they could. They even, like Phil admitted, they even thought about, launching it in pieces versus, all together. So I don't know, man. Look, take your lumps now, early now, take your castor oil now. And then hopefully, like I said, 9 months to a year from now, we're having a completely different discussion about Halo. It's great. And we go, thank God they delayed it. Look at it now. This is amazing. Because ultimately, that's what we all want. We just want it to be great.
So the question I have is 14 months enough? Is 12 months enough?
We're about to find out.
Do a functional change. Because, if they're bringing someone over who, and let's just, we know his history, right? He created the Halo and the Destiny franchises. We kind of know that, Bungie made a mistake firing him, because he brought all of that fun and all the great stuff from Destiny 1 was his doing, right? Is that enough? And again, like you said, we don't know what's in store. We don't know what was good, what was bad, what needs to meet in the middle for them to put out Halo Infinite. But is, people in the chat are saying, oh, maybe it's March. You guys are saying, and I agree with you.
No, it's not. I don't agree with that.
Shush, Danny.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just saying, that's the chat. The chat is, and some people are saying March, some people are saying summer. I think the prevailing discussion between us is holiday 21. What if they're not ready in that? Is it okay?
Yes. At this point, it's been delayed. You don't put it out till it's ready, period.
But the question is, what if it evolves into, okay, well, we're still not ready. Let's say it's August 21, it's 12 months from now. We're still not ready. We're going to push it to March or summer of 2022.
Then you do it.
How big of a problem does that become for Microsoft in general? Because that's their flagship title, just keeps getting delayed.
Ask yourself this question. Pretty sure they already had a roadmap. There's another big game that was already coming out holiday 2021, at least scheduled to be, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You market everything around that. Look, now we're getting into a marketing talk away from it. But in my opinion, you don't put out a freaking game just to put it out to meet some stupid deadline. If the game's not ready, it's just simply not ready. And this one in particular, we're not having an Xbox discussion right now if it was not for Halo Combat Evolved. So everything that Microsoft does is built around Halo. So again, you can't screw it up. So if a year from now isn't enough time, then a year from now just simply is not enough time. Delay it again. Look, I should be playing Cyberpunk right now. I ain't complaining because CD Projekt Red needed more time. So whatever, you move on. You go play something else until the game that you're obviously desiring and that you want to succeed is ready to come out and to succeed. Period.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, Pete. If it was really coming out early 2021, it would have said in the announcement. Yep. They said, it's coming out 2021. It could be any time. I think it's going to come out at the end of 2021. Maybe close to the 20th anniversary of the release of Halo. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
It's not. But if let's say the game is not ready during that time, it's okay that the game gets delayed. It's not a bad thing. Look, yes, Cyberpunk looks incredible, but that game got delayed plenty of times and people are still excited about it, So, it's not a bad thing if it gets delayed. I prefer a great product than a half product when it
right.
when it
But
comes
okay,
out.
so if we let's take the comparables there, right? We have Cyberpunk, which is the CDPR flagship now, which 2-3 years ago it was The Witcher. But we've got a platform flagship, right? That holds infinitely much more weight. And wow, okay, all right, that may have been a little pun thrown in there unknowingly, right? But that's got a much larger weight to it than having a developer's flagship title attached to it, right? So at this point, Microsoft and Xbox really need to sit down and hope that the rest of these titles that are going to stagger out and hopefully right the ship or at least keep the ship stable in the meantime are good enough to support Xbox in the long run while 343 and Microsoft hammer out the rest of these issues with Halo Infinite, because that's something that needs to be considered.
I disagree.
Yeah, same here.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
If let's put it this way. Yes, Halo is the flagship. Halo's very important to the overall plan with Microsoft Game Studios, right? But if their entire launch and first year success is built around one game, then they have an overall studio problem, period. Because it should be that we're starting to, you're going to see a steady stream of compelling games come out of their exclusive lineup. You're going to see compelling reasons for Game Pass. Yes, Halo is an important cog of it, but it can't be everything. So again, I go back to the point. If a year from now it's not ready, they should have enough of a lineup ready to go that it shouldn't matter. Because if it matters a year from now, there is a bigger problem within Microsoft Game Studios beyond just 343 and Halo Infinite. You know what I mean? We should be seeing, again, I'm just pulling stuff out of my tuchus. We should be seeing whatever the Perfect Dark is, right? We should be getting more information on Avowed, on Forza, on Fable, Everwild, other secret stuff should be coming out. There should be more than just Halo a year from now when we're having this discussion, if it were to get delayed, to where we go, well, I'll just go play Perfect Dark then, right? You should be saying that. You should be saying, well, I just go play Cuphead 2, right? Or, I'll just go play Forza or whatever. So in that sense, they should be like let's take it to PlayStation as an example, right? PlayStation wasn't reliant on just God of War. You know what I'm saying? Because they have Horizon Zero Dawn, they got Days Gone, they got,
Ratchet and Clank.
Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank. But you get my point. There's all these other, obviously Ghost of Tsushima. The list goes on to where, okay, take your time, Corey. Take your time, because I want God of War to be the best it can possibly be. I'll go play this other stuff while we wait. That's the point. So if Microsoft can't do that, I understand at launch. Yeah, it'll be rough sledding for them here early on. But if we're having this conversation a year from now about Microsoft Game Studios and what their year 2 plans are, and we're like, ooh, man, Halo being delayed, I don't know. That's a problem. Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. I think now during the next event, which hopefully it happens next month in September, I hope they could give us like a timeline, like a launch window of stuff that's coming out between launch and early next year, and just get us excited beyond Halo. I think that's like the right thing for Xbox to do, instead of, hey, here's the date, here's the price, Game Pass, 1,000 games, and move on. No, they can't do that. They can't depend on just that alone. They need to show us a launch window. Look, PlayStation just announced a couple of days ago that Ratchet and Clank is coming out early 2021. That's considered a launch window. I'm excited. Now I see myself buying a PlayStation 5 when that game comes out. Yep. Why not Xbox do something like that once they announce the price and the date? Get us excited. Tell us why we should invest on that console or the services, instead of just talking about Game Pass. You know what I'm trying to say? I know Game Pass is going to be incredible. I know that. That's like, I use that a lot now. But show us more, I think. You guys agree?
Completely agree.
No, for sure.
Cool. Should we go to the voicemails? Because it looks like we went a little bit over.
We went.
You want to do that?
We went hard.
It's all good.
Good hard.
It's all good.
Minutes on that one. So that's good.
I love it. I love
It's
it.
good. It's good.
Look at that. That's twice already. Twice from Paris, right? Halo Infinite takes over the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Well, do we want to do that,
Yeah.
or we just want to talk about Ratchet and Clank and what we saw? Since it's a perfect segue right there, bro. I mean, you used it as your sample. You used it as your example. Let's just dive right in. What did you think?
Because it looks incredible. Like I said, I'm gonna buy PlayStation 5 because of now that I honestly thought that game was gonna come out like in 2 years. I didn't know it was gonna come out during the launch window of PlayStation 5. Now I see myself buying a console next year. I don't plan to buy it at launch. I could wait a couple more months, and that's okay. When I bought a PlayStation 4 for the first time, it was because of Infamous Second Son. I love that game. That game is incredible. It's going to be the same exact thing for me in the spring when that game comes out. That's the day I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5. The digital version, of course. Yep.
No,
Only two SKUs, no, not 4.
Sorry, go ahead.
What you were saying?
No, I was going to say, no, there's only 2 SKUs, not 4. Bad joke.
Wait, what for? What are you talking about?
He's talking about your crazy conspiracy Steve 4 SKU let me dream nonsense that you've been saying the past 4 years.
Hey,
still trying to hold on to it, and you wrong.
Hey, there's gonna be multiple SKUs at launch, but go ahead.
God.
We've devolved already. It only took 36 minutes. I didn't have hype for Ratchet and Clank. Even when they first announced it, it didn't have anything for me. Mm-hmm. After seeing what we saw a few weeks ago and then this past week on the show,
Gamescom,
the Gamescom thing.
Stop interrupting him.
Yeah. He doesn't know the name. I have to remind him. He doesn't know the name.
You didn't have to interrupt, but
you said the show. What show? It could be any show.
What show just happened this past week, Danny?
Oh my God! Not everybody knows about that, Pete. Not everybody knows, Pete. Not everybody knows.
You
about
see
that.
what we have to put up with, everyone.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
But yeah, after this past outing on Gamescom opening night, it's definitely got a lot of eyes open and mine especially. Right, I wasn't super hyped, a couple of months ago. And it started to pique my interest when we saw what happened on the PlayStation Showcase for their non-E3 event, and then obviously this past week for Gamescom. Yeah, I now have interest. Now it's beyond just the original. Okay, I'm just gonna I'll just wait for maybe I'll just get it to play Fall Guys with my family and stuff like that. Now I have another reason to look into getting a PlayStation 5. It's definitely got my interest. So and again, that goes back to our Xbox Live conversation or our Xbox, Series X conversation. That's what Microsoft needs to do. It needs to drop titles that make us want to buy the hardware.
Mm-hmm. Like if they say Xbox says Hellblade coming out launch window, I'll be like, okay, now we're talking.
You have my attention. Exactly. Something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Just show us that. That's all they have to do. That's it. Okay, Halo Infinite delayed. It's fine. Show us the games, man. You've been investing a lot of studios. Show us the games. That's it. So, Paris, you want to say anything about Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this since it originally debuted at the PlayStation reveal. I go, to me, that is the only next-gen game that I've seen. Yes, I know the medium exists, and I don't agree with what everyone's saying. That gets old on Twitter. But the point is, when I look at Ratchet and Clank, to me, I go, that's a reason to get a PlayStation 5. Absolutely, 100%, right? Didn't think it was coming anytime soon, so I just naturally assumed there's no urgency for me to get a PlayStation 5 at launch because Miles Morales is not enough of an incentive for me. That's something I could wait and play later. So now we're finding out its launch window, I'm guessing probably February, March, something like that, right? Absolutely, I will get a PlayStation 5 to make sure I have that game day one when it comes out. Do I get one November 13th, allegedly, or whenever it comes out and get into we should talk about the lottery system they're doing. But am I gonna run out and try and get it actually day and date? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not gonna say yes or no. But by early 2021, absolutely, I'll have a PlayStation 5 because that's a game that is compelling enough for me to want to pick one up. And we know the other big heavy hitters are coming down the road. We obviously know a New Horizon game is coming. So there's going to be plenty of titles on PlayStation 5 that absolutely you're going to want to own a PlayStation 5 to play. But shifting this into the whole lottery thing, I think this is a genius move by PlayStation, by the way. And we talked about this a little bit offline. Because they're creating hysteria already for their console by saying, hey, if you want to buy it from us, you're going to go into this lottery system and we are going to weigh it off of your quote unquote loyalty to how much you play games on PlayStation if you get priority to be able to pre-order it or not. They didn't say you couldn't get it at Best Buy or Amazon, which I'm sure you will be able to. They just said from us. But because that's the only thing they're talking about right now, everybody and their mom's scrambling to try and sign up for it to get it, to make sure they get their place in line so they can hopefully order a PlayStation 5. It's a genius move. And
so for those that are,
wow, you're Danny now. You just cut people off.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, just because there might be people who aren't familiar with this lottery system
Well,
conversation.
maybe I was about to explain it before you cut me off. Did you ever think of that?
No.
But you think you're Danny Pena now, and you just cut people off. Just saying, but please go ahead and explain it.
No, I don't know what the lottery thing. That's
no, well then why did you interrupt me? You don't know what it is, but you interrupted me. That's congratulations.
He's learning. You're learning. That was good. That was good. I'm leaving this here. I'm not editing this out at all.
I just fell out of my chair. Holy
yeah, that was good. That was good.
Anyways,
please continue.
Sony/PlayStation is asking people to basically go to, there's a URL that you go on their website and you need to enter your gamer tag and all that to basically show your interest in being able to pre-order a PlayStation 5. And again, I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but allegedly the reason they want your gamer tag is because they can also obviously on the back end and look and see how active you are on PlayStation, how many games you're playing, how engaged you are in it. And that may or may not weigh into you getting an early spot in the pre-order process for a PlayStation 5 directly from Sony. That's all it is. Would you like to add to this, Pete?
No, I'm good.
Then why did you interrupt me earlier?
Because I didn't know what the lottery system concept was.
It's all good. It's all
so
good.
I needed an explanation. Damn it!
You know what, Paris? This remind me of, remember Willy Wonka when the kid was trying to look for that golden ticket, and once he gets it, oh my god, he's gonna be talking about it, dude. That's what's gonna happen with the people that get selected to buy a PlayStation 5 on that website from Sony. They're going to be talking about this everywhere. Like, oh my God, I got it. So it's genius. It will go viral. The conversation will go everywhere. People are going to be talking about it on Reddit, forums, podcasts, YouTube. Oh yeah, dude, it's genius. Genius move from Sony, I think. So, yeah. So let's go with fan mail questions, right? I think we should do that.
Pete, can we do that, or do you want to interrupt?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so we're just gonna end the show now. Thanks everyone for watching.
All right. We're good with the voicemails, right? So I can start with that.
All right.
And it's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Go for it. Let's play the first question.
What's going on, Gamer Tag Radio? Shout out to you, Danny. What's going on, Paris? And shout out to Pete for being on the show, man, a couple of times. Man, it's awesome to hear your voice, Pete. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. Brothers, I got questions, and I'm going to make this very, very brief. Here we are. I think it's safe to say we are in pretty much September, and we have not heard a peep of a price from neither Microsoft or Sony. So my question to you, good brothers, is which company do you think is going to reveal their price first? I'm just curious. And that leads me into the second question. Are these consoles going to be possibly much higher than we're thinking because they are taking so long to reveal the price point? We've heard as far up to as much as $600. I don't know at this point. I think it's possible, but those would be my questions to you guys. Don't want to be too long-winded. Shout out to y'all for doing such an amazing job. And with that being said, you guys take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Keon. Price.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oof.
Give it to me. What do you think?
So the question is, which of the company from the two, Xbox or PlayStation, is going to announce the price first? At this point, I don't even know anymore, man. I really don't know. If I feel like both companies are like just waiting for the first one to come out and then they'll announce it. I say this many times, man. If you're the leader, who cares about your competition? Just announce it, because you look. We just talked about the lottery, the website. People are excited about PlayStation 5. Why not just announce it? Who cares? They're the leader. I think they're good, And for Xbox, if that console, both of them, the Series S and the X, if you're confident about your price, announce it. Why we have to wait for all the way to like closer to launch? I have never seen this before, of a console coming out in November and we still don't have a clue about price. That's crazy. It's insane. I don't know. It could be anybody, man. I think maybe Sony because of the lottery website, maybe, but it could be anybody, man.
I'm concerned.
I think
you, Paris?
I'm concerned.
Why are you concerned?
Because like you're saying, we're now effectively in September with no price. I'm concerned for both PlayStation and Xbox, because if it was good news on price, almost like you're saying, if you're the leader, I would care less what the other one does. I'm just going to say the price because I feel good about it. I can't even believe this is about to come off my lips, but I think we're going to be in for sticker shock with both of these things. I do. I know.
Even with the cheaper ones too?
Yep. I don't think they're going to be what we expect them to be. Because again, let's just call it for what it is. If PlayStation was able to have that all digital at $399, say it. Be done and say it. Why are they not saying it? So that tells me it's not $399. That tells me it's more than that. Is that $450? Is that $500? Is that more than that? I don't know. When we go to the Series X, clearly they're going to take a loss on that Series X no matter what they price it at, because that you just look at the specs of the Series X, it's worth more than $600 easily, right? So you can't price it at that if Sony's $100 cheaper, because now we're just repeating 2013 all over again. So I do think there is a big game of chicken going on right now, to where Sony's concerned, this is my theory, I know nothing, concerned that we can't deliver it at the prices that we've had in 2013 and then again during the refresh of 2016 with the Pro. So we want to see what Microsoft does so we can adjust accordingly. Microsoft looking at it, this Series X is going to be expensive as hell. Satya's like, Phil, I'm not trying to lose $200 a box. Figure this out. And he's like, okay, we'll wait to see what they say. So I think they're both literally waiting to see what other says, because if it were up to if it was up to them, I honestly think, this is just my God honest opinion, I think if it was up to PlayStation, the digital would be $500. The one with the disc is probably $600, and I think the Series X is $600. Ooh. I think if it didn't matter, if there wasn't just, all right, this is the price and just deal with it, I think that's what it would be. But I think they both realize consoles are not meant to cost that much. Yes, we live in an age of $1,000 phones and all that. I get it. But consoles are supposed to be consumer price friendly. They've always been that way. If you want to spend a bunch of money on it to play video games, build a PC, right? So I think they're trying to not be expensive, but at the same time, they know they're going to take a loss, but how much of a loss? So that's why we see this crazy standoff. COVID obviously hasn't helped anything. And yeah, and that's the other part of it too with COVID. Dude, did you really want to be introducing, again, pretend a $600 console into a market where the economy has crashed? Do you really want to do that? I mean, it just, none of it adds up. I'll say this one last thing, and then Pete, I know you're, before you interrupt me. I had to. I'm sorry, I had to. I personally think, and throw stones and tomatoes at me if you want, there shouldn't be any next gen consoles this year anyways. They should delay both of them to spring 2021. How about that? There you go. I'm done, Pete.
I mean, it worked. It worked
Pete,
from
not
Nintendo.
you.
Really
Pete, they said nothing.
Hey, I know Pete's going on. I'm just saying that it worked for Nintendo. That's all. That's all I was going to say. Jeez. My God. Freaking angry.
I haven't been on. I haven't been on
today.
in 2 weeks. I got to catch up. I've been listening on the sideline, screaming at my freaking iPhone. Like, why are you saying this?
Go ahead, Pete.
And he's not even the captain, so all this loss of power is just crippling him.
That is true.
I'm the captain 3 weeks in a row, and he can't say anything about it. You know what? I 100% agree with you with the rhetoric of it has to release on a holiday. 2020 can go bleep itself, especially with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, all the other people that we have lost this year, not just from a celebrity perspective, but all of the senseless violence. So why not just hold off on that? Do we really need to be worrying about that in 2020? Like, that's the least of our concerns. But pricing, you have to think about it from a pragmatic business perspective. Things like the cost of living has increased over the last 10 years. You can't be basing prices on things from 5 and 10 years ago. We've seen that not just, and I've talked about this countless times on the show, we can't base budgets for games in 2020 the same way we budgeted them 10 years ago and 5 years ago. So economically, that price creep is going to happen regardless. So you can't say, okay, well, Xbox One cost $400 or $500. It has to be at that price because everything has increased, either whether it's inflation or business costs or overhead, et cetera, and all those other things. So for them to say, if that price cost does increase to $599 for the Series X, I mean, I've got a PC, so it bothers me none. And I'm still going to be able to play it. But in 2020, that curveball definitely makes a difference. Like you said, just the industry in general has taken a hit because of everything that's gone on. The economy has tanked even worse. We've got a much higher rate of unemployment. We've got people dying from a disease that's hitting people that we don't have a cure for. You know, my brother-in-law's best friend just passed away 2 weeks ago. It's the last thing I care about is the price of a new console. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that people have to take into consideration. I mean, and I think I said this last week. $600 is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, not just in America, but around the world. You know, and do you really think that's on their minds? So that being said, I would like to see the Series X at no more than 500, because I think if you keep it at the same price point of the last console, then I think, you know, all things considered, it's the most powerful console in the world, blah, 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 blah. Take all the marketing speak out of it. All the performance that you see coming out of that machine is worth 600. And like you said, in comparison to a gaming PC with comparable specs, you're spending well over $1,000. You're spending $1,200 to $1,400 on a comparable gaming PC with those same specs. So if you could chop that in half and play on your console and your TV in your living room, that's not a bad deal at the end of the day.
Okay. Should we go to the next voicemail?
We can.
All right, let's do it.
As long as you don't interrupt us again.
I'm not going to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Gamertag Radio, this is the mailman, Jose. I called a few months ago to congratulate you guys with your interview with Phil Spencer. You guys are doing great work since then. I just wanted to call and say it was really cool to hear you guys cover GC Fandom. I watched the event all day. I had the day off of work. Big deal right now. We're working a lot of hours in my office anyways. It's different in the country anyways. I was just wanting to clarify really quick. I know you guys had a good time, you and I think it was Pete, talking about the event. Covered the Snyder Cut. Just a quick clarification. Zach's daughter actually took her life, which is why they stepped away from the project and why when the Release the Snyder Cut movement started, all the funds and since then through the hashtag have gone to suicide awareness. I just thought I would point that out. I know you guys didn't do it on purpose. Pete seems like a cool guy. Anyways, thanks for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you guys have a wonderful time, a good day. Stay safe out there in these crazy times. I'm also coming from California, so just send good positive vibes and prayers this way. We've got a lot of fires going on, and it's hard for those who got to work outside, especially those firemen, the migrant workers, you know, everybody on the street working hard construction, including your mailmen out here all day, every day, spraying in the smoke. Anyways, God bless, and yeah, Gamertag Radio, you guys are doing great work. Goodbye.
All right, thanks for the message. And yeah, and actually there's two clarifications. He's right. It was Zack Snyder's daughter that passed away, and I did not know about the funds for Release the Snyder Cut actually going to suicide awareness. So that's a fantastic move by them. And then correction for me, last week I had referenced Jeffrey Wilson by mistake. It's actually Jeffrey Wright that plays the role of Inspector Gordon in The Batman. So, but yeah, thank you very much for that. And hey, I know all about what you're, well, not me personally, but my father's a postman. He's a mailman here in the States. Well, they're in the States in Miami. So yeah, he's out there in the hot sun, 8 to 10 hours a day delivering the mail. So yeah, shout out to you. Thank you.
Cool. Should we go to the next voicemail? I know this one is very long, so if you want to cut it short, that's fine too.
Or skip it. Okay.
Or skip it. Yeah, or skip it. Whatever you want.
I'll play it and then we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
Hey guys, this is Yusuf out here in Phoenix, Arizona. This is my first time calling in. I've been listening to you guys for the last couple months. You can thank Ryan McCaffrey over at Unlocked for sending me you guys your way. But it's great to listen to you guys week after week, and it's great what you guys do. My question is, I don't know if it's more of a question, it's more of a comment even. A few weeks back, you guys were talking about the Game Pass for Xbox, and it got me thinking about, going digital. And while I'm a big advocate of going digital, I buy all my games digitally and all that, and it's great. But the one thing I haven't really given into yet are my movies. I own all my movies. I back them up on my computer, and I watch them through Plex. And I also do Netflix and all that other stuff as well. I guess my question is, going forward, Xbox is letting you decide how you want to play, whether it is buying the game or doing Game Pass. And I don't get a chance to play that many games, so I'm more of a person that likes to buy the game. And so let's say 20 years from now, the argument could be made before I say what I want to say, that you may not be playing those games in 20 years, but in 20 years, are you still going to have access to those games when you buy them digitally? Because technically you're just buying the license, I understand, but that's the one thing that worries me about things going digital. I want to be able to have access to them for, a really long time, and that's what concerns me about the digital. age right now. And again, I'm a big proponent for it. I love digital, especially when it comes to my Xbox and games on, PS4 and stuff. But
All right. Thanks. I'm gonna cut that early because we do have a time format that we need to stick to. But thank you for your call. So, well, shout out to you for being another Plex user. That's a great thing to you. But his question was more so, what happens to folks who use something like Game Pass and then have to worry about their licenses 5-10 years from now? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's more of if you buy the game digitally, and then 5-10 years from now, let's make believe, God forbid, Xbox say, all right, we're done. We're going to shut down everything. Download all your games that you downloaded, right? That you purchased digitally. I think that's the right way to do, because I gave this a perfect example a while back. I joined the early days of iTunes and I purchased a lot of albums and I downloaded a lot of free content the early 2000s before iPhone even came out, even before they added podcasts in there. So recently I went back and I just wanted to see what type of albums I bought during that time, and I re-downloaded it again using my account. I think that's the best way to do, is at least you could go back and download those games. Doesn't matter which console you purchase, from let's say a 360 or Xbox One, and maybe now with the Series X and S. I think that's the right way to do. The thing that I have to say, it works with Microsoft. They're pretty good with that stuff, right? With Nintendo is a different story. So the 3DS eShop got shut down.
Right.
You can re-download it. I know the Wii U, I think they're planning to do the same exact thing. They're going to shut it down. So you have to re-download everything as soon as possible, right? So it depends on the company. Nintendo, I'll be worried. Xbox, they've been good at that. PlayStation, I think the same thing too. So that's all I have to say. I think we'll be fine when it comes to that stuff. And they could easily maybe get sued if you purchase a lot of games and you can't re-download them. I think that's unfair if the companies don't give you access to those games digitally to re-download them again, in my opinion. So do you guys agree, or you want to say anything from that, Paris?
I get what he's saying, but PC gaming has been doing this for a decade already anyways. You can't play a game right now on the PC without it being digital. Even if you quote unquote go buy a physical copy in the store, all you're really doing is inputting a code into Steam or whatever digital store to be able to play the game. This is clearly where console gaming is going. Even right now, that physical copy of a game that you picked up is not the game. All it is just you've pre-downloaded your digital copy and you're using your physical disc as a DRM check. That's it. That's all it really is. So I understand the concern and why you would be worried potentially a decade, 15 years from now, not having access to your games. But I'll tell you right now, that physical copy of God of War that you have right now, the same thing can happen with it, because it's going to want to go online to do some kind of check for you to be able to play it. That data you have on that disc is outdated before it even ships to you, because guess what you also do? You're downloading huge day one patches when you pick up a physical copy of a game. So don't be fooled into thinking that that a physical disc is allowing you to hold on to something long term. No matter what, we're in an age of the internet now. We're in an age of digital. We're in an age of encryption and just DRM and everything that goes with it. There's going to be some kind of online check that needs to happen, no matter if you have a physical disc in your hands right now or not. So with all that said, I've just accepted our reality, and things like Game Pass. And obviously we have, even outside of games, things like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, where streaming a game, downloading a game, digital copies of games, they don't bother me, because it's just where technology has taken us now. So as someone who I don't like has once said, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. P, you want to say anything from that, or you want to go play the last voicemail?
No. Let's just go hit the last voicemail. We've already hit over the hour mark, so it's a good time.
Let's go.
For that. Let's go.
Yep.
What's up, guys? This is Michael, aka Toon Medic, calling for the first time from the Bronx. And I have a question about 505 Games. They came out with IGN came out with an article saying that they're not going to be able to do free next-gen upgrade. This really upsets me. They're coming out with an Ultimate Edition, and they're saying they tried their best to make this possible for current players of the game that own it, to make a free next-gen upgrade, and they just couldn't do it. I think it's bogus. I think it's just a means to get more money out of current players, and I just want to know what you guys think. Also, just a shout out to Fall Guys. I think it's the Game of the Year contender, Paris. I think you could agree with me. All right, later, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for the call. So heading back into the 505 remedy for control question with next gen and current gen, where they're forcing consumers to rebuy the game if they want to play it on the next gen consoles. I know Danny and I spoke about this last time, but Paris, I don't think we ever heard, at least not here on the show. We didn't hear your comments on that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't even want to go beat this dead horse. You throw Call of Duty into it too. You see what's going on with this upsell with the next gen. I don't know. I mean, the games and the companies that can get away with it, they're going to do it, and the ones that want to be consumer friendly aren't doing it. I mean, it really comes down to that. If you want to play next gen Call of Duty, you're going to pay for it. If you want to play, Control on the Ultimate Edition with ray tracing and all that, then you're going to have to pay for it. It really comes back to the thing that we always say, vote with your wallet. I think they're both, I won't curse, so you don't have to beep it, but I think they're both crappy solutions to this. I would rather see that I buy a game once, whether I buy it on the current gen or the next gen, and I just own it, and it upgrades to whatever it needs to be. I've seen the argument about where there's development costs are going to this and that, I get it. But we're in a transition year right now. I think taking care of your consumers should be way more important than getting a few extra bucks in your pocket. But that's just me. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. It's getting confusing with the whole. Some games might have smart delivery, some don't. Some you have to pay $70 instead of $60. It is getting confusing, especially with the whole Call of Duty. I think it's called Next Gen Console Bundle. I think it's called. That one is $70, and I know Microsoft. When you go to the website, it says that when you buy this version, you will also download it at no extra cost. But in a way, you are paying extra. You're paying $10 extra for that. So I don't know. The whole thing is just confusing to me. So, like you said, Paris, vote with your wallet. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I mean, that's the best thing to do.
I agree. I'll just say the one last thing. Look, you clearly know I'm very biased towards CD Projekt Red, but look at what they're doing with Cyberpunk, right? Buy it. $60 game. You buy it right now, you're good on PlayStation 5, you're good on Series X. It should be that simple. It really should. Just buy it one time. Don't charge me a next gen tax, nothing. $60. Now, look, if you want to say your game is worth $70 across the board, then charge me $70 on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 too. That's how I look at it. But to say if you stay on current gen, you can pay less, but we're not going to let you take advantage of any of the features on the next gen unless you give us more money. It's just, it's just a crappy. It's just crappy. I mean, I want to say a lot of curse words, but I'm trying not to.
It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. Pete, you want to say anything about that? About the Call of Duty, and we'll move on. And
it's just in general, like you said, the next gen tax, I guess, is probably the easiest way to say it. I'm okay with a dev or pub saying, okay, look, pay $10 and upgrade to the next version, but to charge a consumer that's already paid for the product the full price, to have them double dip just to play it on the next gen, I think it's outlandish. I think it's wrong. One of the two is the correct way to do it. Either charge it up front and and put the little disclaimer at the bottom that says this gives you access to next gen, or say, look, thank you for purchasing the title previously for $10. You can upgrade to the next title. You can upgrade to the next gen at for the measly cost of an extra $10, whatever it is. I understand from a developer's perspective that there's additional coding and work that's being done that may or may not have to be needed to get it onto the next gen platform. But at the same time, don't slap your consumer upside the face and kick their dog because you're doing this. It just, from a consumer's perspective, it just doesn't look right. Give it, either charge them the token cost for upgrading or charge it up front, like Paris said. Those are the only two right ways, in my personal opinion. If I'm wrong, then you can at me at Twitter at Pete Rock.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be like this for maybe, I hope, for this year. Maybe I hope we get to see some changes in 2021 and beyond, and we'll go back to $60. We'll see. If not, then I think it's going to be like this for a while. $70 for the big games. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback, listen to our past episodes. You could also find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Make sure to subscribe and follow us or post a review. It will help us out. Also, if you'd like to be part of our fan mail episode or segment, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
That's it. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for listening to Gamertag Radio episode 1065. Until next time, we are out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.